I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. In this video, we'll consider a special triangle which is 45, 45 and 90 degrees. Here are 7 questions related to this triangle. It will help you to understand how do we quickly answer the questions in any competition when special triangles are involved. The variety here includes working with the sides of a triangle, whether the numbers are rational or irrational. Question number 1 here is, if PQ is 8 centimeters, find the length of PR. We'll refer to this particular triangle PQR, where 90 degrees is at Q, hypotenuse is PR, and PQ and QR are the legs. So you can see the type of questions we have. Pause the video, answer them. In case you want to learn from me, you can always send an email on the address given. So now let's see, how do we answer these questions one by one? So before getting into their solution, let us have a good look at the special triangle itself. So when in a triangle we have 45 degrees and 90 degrees, you can see it is an isosceles right triangle. So that means the two sides must be equal. So the two sides equal, I'm taking their lengths as 1 unit. If the length of each side is 1 unit, as you can see here, then in that case, what should be the hypotenuse? Let me label this as PQ and R. So here we are saying let PQ is equal to QR and is equal to 1. In that case, P to R will be square root of 1 square plus 1 square, which is 1 plus 1 or square root of 2. So that gives you the special triangle to work with. Well, in case I change these sides to, let us say, x times 1. So if I make the sides as x, then this becomes square root 2x. Do you see that? So let me rewrite this as square root of 2x. So we can always scale this triangle. Do you see that? So most problems will be solved by scale factor. Perfect. Now when you talk about trigonometric ratios, then we know that sine of angle 45 degrees from this particular triangle will be 1 over square root 2, which should be rationalized and written as square root 2 over 2. And same is the case with cos of 45 degrees, right? So that is also equal to square root 2 over 2. And we know that tan of 45 degrees should be equal to 1, since the ratio of opposite to hypotenuse is 1. Perfect. So with that sound knowledge, let's now begin solving the questions one by one. Question number 1 here is, if PQ is 8 centimeter, find the length of PR. So if I give you PQ as 8, right? So P to R will be how much? Well, it should be 8 square root 2, right? As you can see, hypotenuse is square root 2 times the smaller sides. So straight away we get the answer 8 square root 2. So now you see, you can actually answer these questions within seconds. You see that? That is how the knowledge of special triangles help you to be very competitive. The next question here is, if PR is 10 centimeters, so let me write down PR as 10 centimeters, right? So P to R is given to us as 10 centimeters. Find the length of PQ. Well, it should be 10 divided by square root 2. Now it's a good practice to always write them in the form which is rationalizing denominator. So we'll just rationalize the denominator and write down the answer as 10 square root 2 over 2, which is 5 square root 2. Makes sense? Do you see how the concepts help us to answer the questions? Perfect. Let's move on and take up question number 3. Now, we need to find the perimeter of the triangle if PQ is 6 centimeters. Well, we are given one side as 6 and we know these sides are equal, so other side will also be 6. And for this special triangle, the hypotenuse will be square root 2 times 6, and therefore the perimeter will be equal to 6 plus 6 plus 6 square root 2, which is 12 plus 6 square root 2 units, which is centimeters. Makes sense. So that is how we are going to answer these questions. See how simple it becomes. Next question here is find perimeter of the triangle if PQ is square root of 6. So now we are given PQ as square root of 6. Then the other side should be square root of 6 divided by square root 2, right? And square root 6 divided by square root 2 is square root of 3. You get the idea, correct? You can also verify the result. A square plus b square square root will give you hypotenuse of square root of 6. Perfect. So I'd like you to pause the video, verify that this is indeed correct. Now we need to find the perimeter. So the perimeter will be square root of 6, the hypotenuse, plus the two sides, each are square root of 3, right? So we get the sides as square root of 6 plus 2 square root of 3, unit being centimeters. You see that. That is how we are going to answer these questions. Here is question number 5. Find the area of triangle if PR is 8. So P to R is 8 centimeters. So the other sides will be 8 over square root 2 and 8 over square root 2. Area of the triangle A will be half base into height. So which is half of base being 8 square root 2 divided by square root 2, right? And so we can just simplify this. Simple as that. So this goes 4 times, and square root 2 is 2. So that is also 2, and so that also goes 4 times, and we get this as 16 centimeters square. And therefore we can write down the area A is 16 centimeters square. Is that clear to you? See how simple it is, right? Remember, square root 2 times square root 2 is indeed equal to 2 only, right? Next question here, question number 6 is find perimeter of the triangle if its area is 100. So we are given area is 100 centimeters square. So that means half of base into height, which is PQ times QR equals to 100, right? Or PQ and QR, if I take them as x, so we get x times x equals to cross multiply 200. X square is equal to 200, or x as square root of 200, correct? So square root of 200 is 2 times 100. So you need to understand the working with radicals, right? So let me rewrite this as 2 times 100. Let me rewrite this as 2 times 100. This is multiplication sign, right? So which means 10 square root 2. So if x is 10 square root 2, right? 10 square root 2, 10 square root 2. In that case, the hypotenuse will be square root 2 times this, or 20. Clear? So hypotenuse is 10 square root 2 times square root 2. So if you multiply this by, so we can write PQ as PR rather, right? So we'll just calculate it. Hypotenuse PR is square root 2 times PQ, right? So which is equal to square root 2 times 10 square root 2, which is 10 times 2 or 20. Make clear? So now we need to find the perimeter, and so we can write down that the perimeter is sum of all the sides, which is 10 square root 2 plus 10 square root 2, right? plus 20. And that gives you 20 plus 20 square root 2. Units being centimeter. Is that clear to you? So that is how we could easily answer this question. You see how simple it becomes to work with special triangles? Well, in case you want to learn from me, you can always send an email on the address given. Let's take up the next question, which is question number 7. Find the perimeter of the triangle if its area is 50 centimeters square. You can actually pause the video and answer this particular question. So if area is 50, we know half of, let's take the sides as x each, right? And hypotenuse will be square root 2 times x. So half of x times x is 50, or we can say x square is equal to 100, right? So x is equal to square root of 100, which is 10. So P to R, which is the hypotenuse, will be 10 square root 2, right? So based on these calculations, we can find the perimeter easily, right? So the perimeter is sum of all the sides, which is basically x plus x plus x square root 2. Or in this case, x is 10, so 10 plus 10 plus 10 square root 2, which is equal to 20 plus 10 square root 2 centimeters. Easily we can find this answer. Perfect. So that is how we have answered all the 7 questions to begin with, right? So the simple concept was that the relation between the sides of a special triangle is 1:1 is to square root 2, right? Now with any scale factor, we can work out these examples. I hope the strategy is absolutely clear. Feel free to write a comment, share your views. In case you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for your time and all the best.